Hey, Richard Mellor here again from Facts for Working People. I got a couple of things I want to comment on. I've been thinking about today, and they're just events that have sort of occurred over the last week or so. And one of them is the Oregon train stabbing. The two people were killed when they went to assist or intervene in a white nationalist, Nazi, right-wing character was harassing and abusing and threatening physically two young women, I believe. One was a Muslim woman, and from what I can gather, one was an African-American woman, a black woman. I'm not absolutely sure. And a third guy, Micah Fletcher, was also stabbed. He's got terrible marks down here where he was stabbed, and he survived. And I watched him, he put a little piece on Facebook, or there was a piece on Facebook from him. And, a couple of things he said. He seems like a remarkable young fella. He made a point of telling these young women, because I saw an interview with one of the young women, and she was so tragic. She felt so bad about the whole episode. We tend to do that, humans. There's good qualities in humans. And Fletcher reminded us, well, first he told them, it's not your fault. This wasn't your fault. They felt so bad about it. He said, the world is a cruel place sometimes. And then and I commend him for this, he said, we need to remember this about these little girls. I think they were women, young women, but these little girls, they are the real victims here. They're the victims as well. And I wanted to commend him for that, because they are. And not only that, people like that face this every day. There's been an escalation of it, and it's like racism in a way. It is racism. It's the social racism, social discrimination. It's the institutionalizing of this sort of stuff. That's where every day that beats down on you. And with Trump and everything else, and we all see it, it's gotten much more the fascists, the right-wingers, the racists, the Klan, white nationalists, whatever we want to call them, anti-social elements are feeling braver and more confident every day to commit acts of violence and what have you. Women also, attacks on women and that sort of thing. So I wanted to say, to commend him for that, but also he pointed out about this the white savior complex. In other words, that there's a tendency to focus on the two white dudes that helped out and they died. One was even a Republican or whatever. But so he talked about the white savior complex, and we in Portland tend to have the white savior complex. Well, there is a white savior complex. Look at the movies. Remember the movie Samurai or whatever? What the hell was that white dude doing out there? A European out there? You can see it in all the movies. People of color have dealt with it for bloody decades and years, where they weren't in the movies at all. So it wasn't a question of any white savior. It was just they were absent from history. So there is a white savior complex, but that is part and parcel of the strategy of the ruling class in this country, the white bourgeois in this country, to divide workers along racial or colour lines. More so they call it racial here, it's a colour question in particular, along colour lines, and weaken the working class in order to maintain their dominance of the working class and their rule of the working class. So they will push this issue of the white saviour complex. And while as I say, I think he points out the most important aspect of it, it's a very positive thing that two white people intervened here. And that I don't think for 1 minute these people wanted to be white saviors or felt, oh, I'm stepping in to save these poor women or persons of color or anything. I just think they were decent people that wanted to do the right thing, that wanted to help somebody. And there's lots of people that are like that and that do those things. But in this country, given the situation, when two white people intervene like that, it's a good thing, and it should be recognized as a good thing. But we also need to recognize what the white savior complex is, where it originates, and why it exists at all. It's a means of dividing the working class, weakening us, and the white ruling class maintaining their dominance over society and control over society. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was in Evergreen College in Washington State, where, and I don't know too much about this, I've had a look at it, a quick glimpse at it. They've a group there, or a group of black students, or a group of students of color, or I'm not exactly, social justice students, I think, and I know a little bit about social justice in the high schools. It's a joke in a lot of ways. They've called for a day without white people. And I was thinking about that when I first saw it. A professor there, who's apparently a bit of a liberal lefty, he's refused to not to. He's going to go to college that day. And if I were in that college, I'd go to college that day. I don't agree with it, but they made me think about, in my history, I've never, and in many young people, black people, they have not seen it like their parents have and their grandparents have. The blatant, black's not here, no colours here, all of this sort of thing, and. I have never experienced that from a white perspective. I've never imagined being told you can't come in here, you're white. I've felt times when people have been rude to me, and I can tell it's because of that. I've got a bit of an advantage over white Americans. I have an English accent, so that changes things for me. I want to comment on that at some point. But the thing is, I never felt that, so I can understand genuine anger and frustration. Sake, I wish it just go away for the bloody day, leave us alone or something. I can understand that feeling, but that demand and that statement and that method up there, a day without white people, is a thoroughly reactionary position. It's completely devoid of class. It's a completely reactionary position. And where does it originate? Like the white savior complex, it has a class base. It originates from the black petty bourgeois. The black petty bourgeois, along with their white colleagues, the white petty bourgeois, they think very similarly. Of course, they're different. The racism for the black folks and everything else, with the white petty bourgeois are much more powerful. The black petty bourgeois is a weaker class. They're in competition with the white ones, and unlike the white ones, though, they believe their role. They were born to lead. They've been to college. They're educated. They're middle class, and it's our role to lead the black working class. Nobody else. We don't want any of you around. The white petty bourgeois feel the same way about all workers, actually, and that their role is to lead. The working class, they all have contempt for working class people. And so that's where it originates. It originates among the nationalists and the black petty bourgeois, that we don't want any... it's our role to lead the black working class. And why is it... and the question is that we cannot change society, and in fact they don't really want to change society. The petty bourgeois doesn't want to change society. What the black petty bourgeois wants to lead the working class for, the black working class for, is to enable them to advance their position within capitalist society in competition against their white competitors, the white petty bourgeois. And when I say they're weaker, they don't have the same connections to the ruling class in this country, which is white, has white skin. They're not as powerful just through history, because of history and racism and hundreds of years of exclusion and all those things. But they have the same goals. They want the black working class to help them advance their class interests in capitalist society. And so the prospect of working class unity, which is an absolute necessity if we're to change society, which is why racism is so bad for it, why the bosses, the white ruling class you'll see that they love division between racial division. They love these things when they occur in this way. It's all in the internet. It's all over the news, because they like to maintain this division. They want it at a certain level they control. They don't want, like when cities burn and when there's mass open rioting they don't want a race war, but they love this division and this tension because it advances the interests of the ruling class and helps them. It increases the divisions and helps them maintain their control over society as a whole and over the working class as a whole. So it's a thoroughly reactionary position. If I'd have been in college that day, I'd have gone to college that day. I don't know enough about it. I would have argued against it, that this is not... I mean, if you think about it, look at South Africa. Yes, they were a tiny section of society, but there was a section of the white population, a lot of them in the Communist Party, which is why the Communist Party had such respect there, certainly up to recently, because the only white people that died fighting for black people, the black working class, were leftists and communists in South Africa. So just to blanketly take that position is completely and thoroughly reactionary. It helps the ruling class maintain its rule over society. It helps racism survive, and it's bad. And I don't agree with it. Those are a couple of things I wanted to comment on. That's it for today. It's Richard Miller, Facts for Working People. We do discuss these things in our conference calls, and I'll put an email, a way of contacting us. It's on the blog, Facts for Working People. If you'd like to come in and contribute and participate in those, send us a note and we'll talk about it. We're really interested in sharing ideas, and if you do want to comment on what I've said here, and it's political. You don't have to agree with it if it's political. Send it to us or drop us a line or what have you, and we'll talk about seeing if we can get it up in the blog as well. We're open to that. So it's Richard Miller, Facts for Working People. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.